Welcome to Genius Guidepost, your go-to channel for unlocking your learning potential. Today we delve into the fascinating world of visual learning. Now you might wonder, what is visual learning? Well, it's a learning style that leans heavily on the use of images, diagrams, charts, and other visual aids to grasp and remember information. It's a tool we use, often unconsciously, in education and our everyday lives, from understanding complex scientific concepts to assembling a piece of furniture. In this video, we'll be exploring the concept of visual learning in depth. We'll define visual learning, discuss its benefits, examine the various types of visual aids, and provide you with practical strategies for optimizing your visual learning experience. By the end of this journey, you'll be well equipped to harness the power of visual learning to enhance your understanding and recall. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Stay tuned to uncover the power of visual learning. So, what exactly is visual learning? It's more than just pretty pictures. Visual learning is a unique and effective approach to understanding and retaining information. It's a learning style that thrives on the use of images, diagrams, charts, and other visual aids. In essence, visual learning transforms complex information into simple, understandable, and engaging visuals. But why is visual learning so effective? The secret lies in our brain's love for images. Our brain is a fantastic image processor, much more efficient and quick at absorbing visual information than text. In fact, it's believed that almost half of our cerebral cortex, the part of our brain responsible for processing sensory information, is dedicated to vision. So when we tap into this natural strength of our brain, learning becomes more efficient and enjoyable. Visual learning is not confined to any specific area or field. It's everywhere. For example, in a classroom, a teacher may use a diagram to explain the water cycle. In a business meeting, a pie chart can illustrate the company's sales distribution. Even at home, a simple recipe with step-by-step pictures can make cooking a breeze. A picture, as they say, is worth 1,000 words. But in the context of visual learning, it's worth even more. It's a bridge to understanding complex ideas, a tool for remembering information, and a catalyst for creativity. As we can see, visual learning opens up a new dimension of understanding. Now that we understand what visual learning is, let's explore why it's so effective. Visual learning has a multitude of benefits that make it a favored learning style for many. One of the key advantages is improved comprehension. By transforming complex information into visual aids like images or diagrams, we can grasp and understand concepts more easily. It's like the difference between reading a dense textbook and looking at an infographic. The latter is usually more digestible, right? Beyond comprehension, visual learning also aids in retention and recall. Research shows that our brains are wired to remember images and visuals more effectively than text. Have you ever noticed how you can remember a logo or a picture but struggle to recall the written information next to it? That's your brain favoring visual information. Visual learning isn't just about making things easier to understand and remember, though. It's also about engagement. Visuals can make learning more interactive and enjoyable, which can motivate us to learn even more. To support these advantages, there are countless success stories and research findings. For instance, studies have indicated that students who use visual aids in their studies often perform better in exams. There are also numerous anecdotes of people who have turned to visual learning to master complex subjects, from coding to quantum physics. Evidently, visual learning is a powerful tool that can enhance our learning experience. With its ability to improve comprehension, aid retention and recall, and make learning more engaging, it's no wonder why so many of us are drawn to it. Visual learning comes in many shapes and forms. Let's discover some of the most common visual aids. One of the most common types of visual aids are diagrams and charts. These tools can be used to simplify complex information into a more digestible format. For instance, a flow chart can be used to break down a complicated process into simple, understandable steps. Similarly, a bar chart or pie chart can be used to visually represent statistical data. Then we have mind maps and concept maps. Ever read a Sherlock Holmes novel? You know how he'd gather the clues, then piece them together to solve the mystery? That's exactly what mind maps and concept maps do. They help us gather our thoughts and ideas, then connect them in a logical, structured manner, making it easier to understand and remember the information. Next up, infographics. These are graphic visual representations of information, data, or knowledge intended to present complex information quickly and clearly. They can be used in a variety of settings, from classrooms to business meetings, to simplify the presentation of large amounts of data, explain a complex system, or even to visually illustrate a point. And let's not forget videos and animations. These are dynamic visual aids that can be used to explain concepts that are difficult to understand through static images or text. For instance, an animation can be used to demonstrate the inner workings of a machine, or a video can show a historical event in a more engaging and realistic way. Each of these visual aids has its own strengths and uses. Diagrams and charts are great for presenting data, while mind maps are perfect for brainstorming and organizing ideas. Infographics can simplify complex information, and videos can bring concepts to life. In essence, the type of visual aid you choose would depend on the nature of the information you're dealing with and the audience you're targeting. But no matter which one you opt for, visual aids can certainly make the process of learning more engaging, more enjoyable, and most importantly, more effective. With a variety of visual aids at our disposal, we can make learning a more engaging and enjoyable process. Ready to become a visual learner? Here are some strategies to get you started. The first step towards effective visual learning is creating organized and visually appealing study materials. It's not about making it pretty, it's about designing it in a way that makes the information easier to process. Think of it as creating a map for your brain to follow. Use clear headings, bullet points, and plenty of white space to break up blocks of text. Color coding is another powerful tool in your visual learning arsenal. Assigning different colors to different types of information can help your brain categorize and recall that information later. For example, you could use one color for important dates, another for key concepts, and another for supporting details. Just remember to keep it consistent and don't go overboard. Too many colors can be just as confusing as none at all. Next, consider incorporating multimedia resources into your learning. Videos, animations, and interactive diagrams can bring a subject to life in a way that text alone can't. They can help you visualize complex processes, see patterns in relationships, and explore concepts from different angles. Plus, they're a lot of fun to use. Just make sure to choose high-quality resources that accurately represent the information you're trying to learn. Finally, remember that visual learning is not a passive activity. It's not about just looking at pictures or watching videos. It's about actively engaging with the material, manipulating it, playing with it, and making it your own. This might involve sketching out your own diagrams, creating flashcards, or using a digital tool to create an interactive mind map. The key is to get your hands dirty and really dive into the material. With these strategies, you're well on your way to becoming an effective visual learner. Let's recap what we've learned about visual learning. We delved into the concept of visual learning, understanding it as a style that leverages images, diagrams, charts, and other visual aids to aid comprehension and retention. Our brains, fascinatingly, process this visual information more efficiently than text. We then explored the benefits of visual learning, which include improved comprehension, retention, and recall. This learning style caters to diverse learning preferences and enhances engagement, backed by numerous research findings and success stories. We also discussed various visual learning aids like diagrams, mind maps, infographics, videos, and animations, and how these tools can distill complex information into digestible bits. Lastly, we offered practical strategies for effective visual learning, emphasizing active engagement with visual materials. The importance of visual learning for academic success and lifelong learning cannot be overstated. We encourage you to incorporate visual learning techniques into your study routines and daily lives. Remember, learning is a journey, not a destination. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.